Someone just said that I was the speaker today, so I could, here I am. Alex did ask me to do this a couple months ago, and he said you have a choice. You could be the last one in 2018 or the first one in 2019. And so you're welcome. I'm kicking off your 2019. What better way to have a good, great new year? Of course, I also thought that this day would never come. And so when Alex told me, I said, oh man, I got so many visuals that I can put together in a presentation and show to you. And then yesterday at 4 p.m., I said, okay, this is not going to happen. If I don't know what to tell you about what Rockford can do for you, then there's an issue with me being in my position. So I know many of you in the crowd, and so none of this should be new to many of you. You hopefully have, we've been talking about these issues and how Rockford can create a structure that supports entrepreneurship and economic development as a whole. But let me just start with a couple underlying values. One is economic development is one of Mayor McNamara's top three priorities for his administration. And entrepreneurship, of course, is such an important and critical and effective aspect of economic development. Number two is City Council has a number of guiding principles, and one of those relates to business climate. And their guiding principle relates to a business-friendly environment that supports entrepreneurship and innovation. And so a few things that we've done to kind of support that. Last year, coming into this year, we had a doing business in Rockford task force. Small business owners, members of our private sector, getting together to look at our internal processes, where we could streamline, where we could make things more efficient. A number of things came out of that, really related to a lot of development, but some of the aspects or some of the directions that we're going related to small businesses and entrepreneurship were really reinforced through that process as well. We're also right now doing an existing building task force. Colin Simpson's here, he's on that for us, really looking at how do we promote or reduce barriers to redeveloping the existing buildings and processes along those lines. We really believe that entrepreneurship is, it's where growth is, it's where opportunity is. We have a large number because of the manufacturing history of Rockford and just the skill and expertise that is here. We also have a large immigrant population. We know that immigrants and minority populations create businesses, are more entrepreneurial than the general population as a whole. And so how do we engage them, bring them in, connect them to resources, everything like that. I am not currently a small business owner. I have started one small business. I started a math education consulting business a number of years ago, and it failed. Those that can't do, move on. But I learned so much from that experience. It was a math education consulting business focused on equity, focused on how do you teach math to students of color and create better opportunities for them in their future, really by focusing on how they can learn multiplicative thinking in the second grade. And so it's really taking a very large topic of graduation and career attainment and everything, and really trying to boil it down to that core issue. And I think that's really what entrepreneurs try to do: find those core issues, find those skills, so I know the challenges. So now in my role, how can I support that? A couple things. Number one is a number of years ago, we, through what we call Rockford Community Partners, organizations both that we fund and have aligned goals, create a program called Business First. If you do not know about Business First, please spread it wide. This is promoted to the small business owner who's looking to open doors, open their business. And small businesses, they know about their business, they don't know about the regulatory environment. They don't know who to call at City Hall. They don't know what other entities maybe have a regulatory authority over their business, whether that's a license or a permit or anything related to opening their doors. And so we have a one-stop shop, 30 minutes, it's free, very low barrier. Come in and meet with all of the regulatory agencies that we can pull together. So it's certainly the city, economic development, zoning, our construction services team. It's the Water Reclamation District, it's the Health Department, it's the Small Business Development Small Business Development Center. We're all there to learn about your business plan, and we chime in with how it may relate to our areas. What processes you're going to have to follow, what fees may be associated with. This is from the belief of, number one, economic development is relationship building. Sitting across the table and talking about a business and learning a person's name is the most important first step. But it's also about how can we proactively get so much information up front so that that small business owner isn't surprised as they go through the process. If they get surprised, it becomes more expensive. They may have to go back and redo something. They get frustrated. When we hear about frustrations with the city of Rockford or any other regulatory agency, it's often that case where they it's not their fault. They didn't know. How would they have known? They haven't been in this environment before, but they jumped before they jumped before they looked, or whatever the phrase is, and it becomes more expensive. So we're putting a lot more effort into promoting this. It's been around for since 2015, but we're creating some social media content currently. We're creating some consolidated collateral materials between all the agencies so that you can certainly utilize the program, but we'll have this information in other mediums as well. The next area where we're putting a lot of focus is how we utilize our community development block grant dollars. These are federal dollars that come to the city, and we utilize for a variety of programs. We use them for housing programs, we use them for blight removal programs, and we use a portion of them for economic development. We have one really nice thing about this program is City Council has approved a structure of the program, so when a small business owner or an entity comes seeking these dollars, I don't have to go through a political process to leverage those funds in the community. We can do that within a framework of the program. So we have a program. It's up to $25,000 on a match basis for eligible expenses that are defined by the federal government. We have this currently on our website. You can go to it, and the number one thing that small businesses do when they come into my office is they say, what grants are available, how much can I get, this is what I want to do. And we're trying to flip that around. Rather than businesses coming to us saying, with their hand out looking for free money or grant money, all right, and everybody needs it, we're trying to go out and find those entrepreneurs who are not connected to the system, find those entrepreneurs who need that little bit of assistance to grow their business, find those entrepreneurs who aren't necessarily just in the startup risk phase, but those ones who are proven and have been working hard, but need that little bit of help. And so to do that, Matthew Simpson's in the audience. If you don't know Matthew, I stole him from United Way a few months ago. He's our Economic Development Coordinator and Diversity Procurement Coordinator. And so he's really tasked with not sitting at his desk, not pushing paperwork, but out in the community, working, meeting those entrepreneurs, creating connections, finding those that need that little bit of assistance. And so when we look at leveraging our funds, we're not, even though I can go up to $25,000, we're not looking at say, okay, let's get everybody at $25,000. It's looking at that entrepreneur and really helping them assess, what do you need? And is that $1,000, $7,000, $10,000? How can we get you there? We're also trying to connect to the existing ecosystem. As a public entity, our resources are scarce. You've seen the news. We got an $80 million deficit over the next 7 years. We're not going to be able to do it, nor should we do it by ourselves. We have to support the private sector and the ecosystem that exists in Rockford. So we're getting those businesses to go out and test those avenues. We're not going to be able to do everything for them. They have to go to their traditional bank and talk about what their capacity is and find out about those systems. They have to go to the Rockford Local Development Corporation and see what financing can be available there. They got to go to the Small Business Development Center and make sure that they've put the effort into their business plan and their marketing plan that they're going to be successful. We have to connect them to these resources, because if we hold their hand, if we just do that for them, when we go away, they're going to fail. And so we want businesses to start up, certainly, but we want them to succeed long term. And so the other thing that we've done with the CDBG funds is we've really opened up the eligible expenses. Traditionally, we've tied this to buildings. So, either a facade program, fix up the outside of your business, or an interior build-out program, build out a restaurant, do different things like this. That's not what entrepreneurs need necessarily. We have entrepreneurs who need just inventory or operating capital or or equipment, everything like that. So we've really thrown it out. Number one, we've targeted who definitely needs this money, but number two, we've opened it up anything you need within reason. The only thing I won't buy is a vehicle, probably. But anything else that business needs and can demonstrate a need that's going to grow their business, we'll certainly do. There are some regulatory requirements of this. This money is meant to benefit low to moderate income individuals, but we're trying to be more flexible with that. Going into 2020, we're doing the planning right now. We're trying to create what is called a neighborhood revitalization strategy area. And it's going to define an area of this community where we'll be a lot more flexible. So we can help businesses within that entity, and as long as the majority of them are low to moderate income, we can leverage those funds. So we'll be able to affect a wider, neighborhood-wide, any business that's located within those regions. And so we're trying to be flexible, we're trying to be creative, we're trying to be intentional is a word that I like to use. And my whole team is along those lines. We're putting a lot of resources into the capacity of my department. We're doing that with Matt. Matt's role is a new role. We're doing that with neighborhoods. We're bringing on a neighborhood planner who's going to really help look at neighborhoods and bring capacity, make connections between residents and services that are located in there. We're also being very intentional in our planning. 2020 is going to be a huge year for us to update our comprehensive plan, our consolidated plan, and so we're really excited to see how that goes. That said, we're always open for suggestions and ideas. Bob participated in that Doing Business in Rockford Task Force, had great ideas that contributed to some of those recommendations. Mayor McNamara was on Governor Pritzker's transition team. I reached out to Bob and some others as well about, what ideas can we give the governor that can filter down and create an environment in Illinois that's competitive and supportive of businesses and small businesses specifically. That report is about to be made public, so I'm excited to see what's going to happen in there. But please, the best thing about Rockford, in my view, is the accessibility of everybody. We are the biggest small town. I'm not from here, but this is the biggest small town I've ever been in. So I have my cards. Call me. If you, a client, a business that you know, needs assistance, has ideas, needs support, I may not have all the answers, but we certainly want to know about it and draw those connections and play that facilitation role. So we love having you here in our community, and you are what I'm selling. You are, what's the number? I'm selling you. My target population is you, and what's great about me, it's you. So I'm not special at all. So the media is here. I don't know why. This is not who you need to hear from. So I hope they come back, because when small businesses come up here, I was so excited when this started about 18 months ago or so.
2 years ago when I was at the Nordloff.
I remember that. And Scott Dobbs, so instrumental in bringing this along with Startup Weekend and everything like this. This is what the ecosystem is events like this. It's not a program that hands out money. It's the networking and the learning and the engagement. And so I really appreciate everybody coming and keep coming back and create more of these kind of environments. So,
all right, let's give them a hand. Stay right there. We got a Q&A coming up. First, we have to do the real quick. So he cheated at the end. What is the product or service? So what did you hear? What is he selling in a way? Us. Okay.
Efficiency for business owners through the city and the government agencies.
Efficiency through business owners in the city. Welcome back, Gloria Cudilla. She runs the Salsa Business Network, which meets once a month on Fridays. Where's your first one this year?
Actually, we're hoping to have it at Lucretia's Soul Food Kitchen for Black History Month in February.
Okay, February, Lucretia's Soul Food Kitchen Month. But I will send you out the date, okay?
that's on College.
Yep.
330 College.
Again, who is the target audience? Small business owners? Okay. And what is amazing about the management team? What's amazing about Karl? Accessibility. What? He cares. Okay. He ran his own business into the ground once, so he knows. Right? Okay, so now we have about 15 minutes for question and answer, so go ahead. And here's what we're not going to pass around the mic, right? So you're going to say a question, and Carl, repeat the question so our live stream viewers can hear it, and then answer it.
So we hear really often about how mid to large size businesses are finding the challenge of workforce issues in town. What are you finding the small businesses' largest challenge is in